All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Matt and Charlie Meet the Pressers, Riding Shotgun with Charlie. It has been forever since we've had one of these. Way too long. I think you said the last one was what, in May?
May, yeah.
May.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think last time we had one of these was in May, and we talked to Daniel Easterday, and I was actually driving home from a gun law listening to her. And tonight we have some of the instructors that were at Rick Ector's ladies event, which, if I understand, there's no official name for this. 12 years you've been doing it. You don't have an official name. And we need to figure something out, right? So,
I mean, you know what? I don't know if we need to figure it out. I mean, we've done it 14 years without one. I mean, do we really need to do it?
I guess that's part of the shtick, right?
It's part of, yeah, that's part of the shtick. So so here we go. Here's who we've got tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have Rick Ector from Legally Armed in Detroit. He was the one that put the ladies shoot together, the ladies shooting event. We have Patrick Collins from The Gun Food, which is where you should buy your ammo. If you go to thegunfood.com and use RSWC as the discount code, you save 5.56%. I actually mentioned that to someone on a Facebook post the other day, Patrick. And we have Jose Morales from the Philly Firearms Academy in Philadelphia. We have somebody else that is on her way. She's going to hopefully be joining us soon. And all right. Robert's our first one to make a comment. Robert, coming from the People's Republic of New Jersey. Yeah. We don't hold that against you, man. We don't hold that against you.
Just south of me a little, southeast of me a little bit.
You know, if I can brag just real quick, I've actually known Jose the longest. I met Jose a long time ago when we were on this special NRA sanctioned evaluation group for this this product, right? This training tool, this thingamajig that they had us evaluate, and that's when I first met Jose. How many years ago was that, man?
That was about at least it's over 12, right? So about 15 years. Because I remember you were doodling, you were writing some notes at the poolside, and I think you were you figured out that you were going to call your business Lade. I think Lade was just like at the forefront, and then you just decided on Lade. I just remember Lade being kind of like the moniker you brought up. So it's been a while. How long? When did you actually come up with the Lade in Detroit?
Yeah, when did you lay that out there?
When did you lay that out there?
Oh man, look. I knew I wanted to have a blog, man, and I wanted something catchy, something that would just like grab your attention and like have people do a double take, man. And somehow Legally Armed in Detroit captured my fancy, and I made an acronym out of it, registered the domain name, and here we are on the show with all of my buds who attended the 12th annual free shooting event, except Charlie. Charlie came last
year. You know, I got to give him credit though. At the range, I saw the Riding Shotgun with Charlie sticker, and Charlie there shooting a gun, playing a flute. His sticker there. So.
It's a trumpet. It's a trumpet.
Oh,
the gun grabber sticker. Yes.
I hire people like you to play music. I play it with the radio. This is the only thing I know with music, right? This and.
Nice.
But you know what, Charlie? If I didn't give you the business, you would really think that we had an issue. So I have made it my life's mission to give you the business any and every which way that I can whenever I see you in person or live over the interwebs.
This is your life mission. Okay.
It's my calling.
You know, something that I Googled Rick Ector. That's all I figured, you know, if we're talking about an event that really doesn't have a name, it's just it just is 12 years of this this women's event.
Like an episode of Seinfeld, man.
Right. It's just that neighbor and what's the you got Kramer, but then what about the one with
Newman?
Newman?
What's the one with the guy on the fence? And he's like, his neighbor's looking over the fence.
Family Guy? No, Family
Wilson.
Guy. No.
No.
Wilson. But
Wilson.
What's the show?
Name, but
Tim.
Tool Time.
Tool Time. Yeah. Yeah. Like you got the neighbors.
Tim
All you. Yeah, Tim Allen. All you see is this much over, right? Just like that. It's like such a moniker. It's just in the industry. You know it. But honestly, though, if you Google your name, like you are on that first page. It's you. I mean, one of the things that a lot of people might not know, we're glad to get this out there, is you are now an NRA board member. And one thing that caught my eye on this first page of Googling Rick Ector is meet NRA instructor Rick Ector. The left's worst nightmare. The left's worst nightmare. I love that. It's just like
that was a promo NRA came up with. I think it was 2 years ago, man. They came to town and they put together a video production, man. It was really hot, man. It's nice. Got a lot of views, and it was really cool. And one thing I really liked about it is that they had an opportunity to actually talk in real time with a lot of the women participants, and they gave them a couple of segments in which they shared what their opinions were of the event, man. And that was really a nice touch, because that's why I do the event for the ladies, man. And for them to give feedback during that video was really important, and I really got a lot out of it.
Well, I know you've been prodding and poking me for years to come out and help, and I was hey, okay, I'll get it on my schedule. Well, last time we had you on when you were running for NRA board, I was like, you know what, I got to put it in the calendar, because it always happens. You know when it's going to be. You got it set every year. So I shouldn't be making the excuse to say, oh, I got something going on that weekend. I should block that weekend. And I did this time, and I'm glad I did.
Oh, man, see, that's what I like, man. Awesome. You came through and you showed up, man, and you showed up and showed out. I didn't realize you were so tall, man. You look short on video online. But yeah, you're damn near 6 feet tall, man. I know you're taller than I am.
Because you look like 3 inches online.
Yeah, because I'm way back here, right?
Right.
But it was definitely an awesome event. I'm glad that you asked me to come out and help, and it was fun.
Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, here's Miss Ezell. Chi-Town is in the house.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Oh, hey, look, Rhonda's here.
Hi.
Right, Rhonda.
And Rhonda's been out to Rhonda. You know what? Rhonda's been out to the event so many times. I've forgotten count how many times over the years she's been up to Detroit. Rhonda, how many times have you been to Detroit to hang out with me? I don't know, Rick.
Event? I was trying to figure that out from the first time I met you. So it's been several years, and I thank you for inviting me out. It's a great event. We're happy that we could be.
I met you in Chicago, though. I came out to holler at you. You were hosting.
Absolutely, you sure did.
Marge Teray about 5 or 6 years ago.
Absolutely. Came out to that event. We met there, and I've been coming ever since. I think it was like 2016 or something like that, 17 or something like that.
Yeah, so Charlie's got his work cut out if he as big an impression upon this event as you, because you always show the love, always appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime I can help, I'm there. Just let me know.
And then, of course, right. Patrick's been out a few times. Glad to have the gun food there. We actually had gun food ammunition at the event. We had a little bit of it last year, but we went all the gun food this year. He was our sole supplier of ammunition. And by the way, that purchase through Patrick was done by one of my sponsors, Michigan Coalition of Responsible Gun Owners. They bought the ammo, and I graciously, enthusiastically gave it to Patrick. Did such a great job with an order we placed with him for last year's event. But
that's really generous. Yeah, we couldn't do it without him. Yeah, that's real.
Very cool. Thank you.
Hey, Patrick.
Patrick, how many years have you been going to the event, Patrick?
You know, Rhonda said that she was there since 2017, and I thought I was the first traveling instructor, but Rhonda may have me beat now.
Well, you may have. I just guesstimated here. Yeah. It's not solid right now. We'll figure it all out.
I've been going, let me see, since I think 2017 was my first year. This is my 6th year.
Okay.
And it's been a blast every time. I remember the first time I went, I didn't know anybody except for Rick. I didn't have a place to stay. I just knew where
That's
I
pretty
needed
much
to
how I
be.
start out.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the homeless people come by and be like, "Hey, I'm here for the event, but I don't have anywhere to stay."
Yeah, that makes it tricky.
Yeah.
No, but I remember the first time I met Patrick, man. We met at the NRA annual meeting years ago, man. I think it was it North Carolina? The Carolina convention years ago. And I was just, I've been to a few NRA conventions, national NRA conventions and the annual meeting. And I was walking down the street looking through all of these anonymous blobs of people, and I saw a black face, man, and I instantly ran over to him. And I was like, "Hey, man, I found one. We're here, man. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Rick Ector, man. Who are you?" And we instantly have been friends like ever since.
That's funny.
People are probably not going to believe that story, but it is. Get this, it is a true story.
A real talk.
So get this, Rhonda, because we had a very similar meeting between you and I.
Okay.
But so we both reached to press the crosswalk button. I don't know if Rick remembers that. Remember the crosswalk button? We both reached for it, and he said to me,
Okay.
He said, "Hey, I'm Rick Ector. Hey, Rick."
Like, you should know me. Like this. Wait. This is a picture that I took at the event.
Yeah.
She was explaining Rick Ector's.
Miss Tanisa Mona.
She was explaining Rick Ector's ego.
Yep.
So finish. Sorry, Patrick.
No, it's fine. So I'm like, "Okay, Mr. Rick Ector, I'm Patrick Collins." Like, and then he said to me, "Well, I'm from Detroit." And so I said to him, "Well, I'm from Atlanta." And so anyhow, we started having this conversation about, what we done, who we know, where we're at. And at the end of the day, I didn't have business cards at the time, but at the end of the day, we parted ways, and I made a promise to him I'd make it there. And a few years later, I showed up.
Nice.
How many years did it take you from first talking to the annual shooting event till you actually getting there? How many years did it take?
Probably 3, maybe 4. Yeah.
3.
I had to make sure you were real.
Well, he said he was real.
I'm trying to get you up to Detroit so I can lock you in my basement or something.
Right. Oh my!
He could be a reason that we need a gun.
I wasn't even aware that I came across the people like that, man. But no, I'm a good guy, man. I'm a good guy here from the city of Detroit, and I do this as proof of being a good guy, man. I saw this very disturbing story, here in Detroit, years ago, 12 years ago to be exact, man. A woman's body was found literally laying in the street, and I thought that not only was that a very serious crime, a woman lost her life, obviously had been assaulted. And I wanted to do something about it. And I created this event, man, 12 years ago. And me and about 6 other firearms instructors, we banded together to provide free training. I made sure the event was free, like it's always been. Free use of a gun, free range time, free safety equipment, eyes, ears, target, gun, decent instructors. And that first year was 50, man. And we've continued to put on this event consecutively. This is our 12th year. We didn't even stop for COVID. I think a few of you were here for the COVID year when we hit our record of over 1,930 something people. And that was just 2 ranges, 1 range per day. We hit like 1,200 that first day and did another 700 plus on the second day at the smaller range. So that was a wild year though, man. But we took all the precautions. Nobody got sick, and we trained a ton of women that year. I'm still chasing that all-time high, 1,900 plus, man. Still chasing it.
You'll get it. You'll get it. Continue to do what you're doing. You'll get it.
This year's was pretty good though. What were the official numbers for this year?
just under 1,400. I'm calling it even 1,400. You know, it wasn't the 1,500 I initially wanted, and I put out the information. Well, I found out that I had been what they call shadow banned, man, and it's like on Facebook. The only people that see your updates are people that come to your page, right? It doesn't get like broadcast out. And so once I figured that out, I said, okay, I really need to do something different. Really, what I had to do was go old school, hard promotion, you know, like craft the perfect press release and send it far and wide. I hit all the media outlets. I did all the usual online gun rights sites and stuff, and I hit the site I could. I got a couple of local news stations to run stories, but they weren't like at peak time. I think one was like Saturday in the morning, but it was on the internet only. They were doing, I believe, what's the sport? They were the women's. Was it the women's soccer match that was going on? And you know, it was on their network feed, and so we're on their internet only. And I was like, okay, great. Another local media appearance at the local TV station, but nobody's going to see it because it's just on the internet. And then I did the other TV station, CBS Channel 62, and it wasn't enough peak time. So I did get 2 hits at two local news affiliates, but it wasn't that real big bang of a media exposure that I'm used to getting. And so I hit the press release and calling, you know, contacts and trying to make something happen. And then this one website here locally, relatively new, it's like Michigan crime something site. Well, they ran the press release, man. And from there, I guess the virtual ink tried over the internet. My phone started blowing up, and nice. I was able, from that one connect, to really get the word out, man. And we had a ton of people that signed up. You know, I had over 3,000 people registered for the event. You know, the no-show rate is atrocious, you know, but many people have suggested, well, Rick, maybe you should charge like a token fee, like $5, or maybe take the money and refund it if they show up. That's too much administration, too much headache. Plus, couldn't in good faith call it a free shooting if I charge something for it. Because, you know, I really didn't want money to be a barrier to entry. I really wanted it to be free. But, you know, as they say, man, it worked out.
You're going to have those woes, especially with that. I know, like with ASP, as an ASP instructor, they'll charge $100 and then they'll refund as long as the people show up. I mean, even that, you couldn't do something like that and still technically call it a free event, I guess. But you're going to have that. It is.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you know, it's not free, you know.
No.
Well, you know, Rick,
if I
I'll tell
say
you
it's
this.
free, I want it to be free.
Don't get hung up on your numbers because you have been consistent well over a decade and then some. You're doing a great job. You're doing a wonderful job. You got great instructors. The ladies are coming out. Bad weather played a role as well, but it was a great event as usual. So don't beat yourself up about it because those numbers will eventually rise because those women that did not make it there. I posted on social media over on X now, as they call it, but on the Bird app. And it got a lot of response. And the people were like, oh, where was this? I missed this event. They're looking for the next one. Yeah. And so if, like we were talking about when we were there, there's word in the air that we want to figure out how to duplicate what you've done all over the country, because we know that the goal is firearm safety training and education. And we want to take a page out of Rick's book and make sure that we can give that to women all over the country and make our voices heard more.
Look, that is the goal. That is the goal. Couple of things I'm working on right now. Don't want to jinx it and put it out there before it's too late. But yeah, I'm looking to do bigger and more expansive things in the future. And while I'm thinking about it, so I don't have to worry about it, let me make sure I express my appreciation to this very short list of people. The NRA, ILA for their support on this event, MCRGO, the ammo supplier, Michigan gun owners for all the targets, ATEI, Mr. Doug Holloway, who let us use his guns, all the firearms instructors, too many of them to name individually. Top Gun Shooting Sports was one of the sites. Recoil Firearms was the other site, the gun shop that allowed us to shoot. And of course, Owners of America, you know, they bought a ton of water and took all the instructors to make it out to dinner. And that was a great meal that we had. And I want to give a shout out to my fellow NRA board members, Amanda Suffolk and Charlie Beers. For Charlie came all the way from New York State. And of course, Amanda showed up, Ohio. That state, Ohio next door.
You have to give a shout out to Tanisha. She's always there. That's your sidekick. You got to give a shout out to your sidekick.
I mean, we showed her picture. We showed her picture. Like, it's like, bam, she's right there. I already mentioned her. Like, but yes.
When you going to mention it while I'm
right there.
Again. Shout out to Tanisha Owner.
Okay.
Guys, I'd like to say an official round of applause for Tanisha. Tanisha, you rock.
Woo!
Come on.
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
You know, last year, Patrick and I were sitting around the table in the hotel, and he said that, however the conversation came up, he said, you know, I sent you a friend request and you never responded. And I said, me? And he said, yes. And I said, not true. I said, when people reach out, I try to instantly take care of that, because I'm not I do social media, but, whatever. And I said, you know what? Let me take a look. Took a look. Sure enough, there it was, sitting there, unattended. And what did I do? Instantly take care of that, right? That's how
right.
we operate. That's how, when I was trying to figure out who he was, because I never saw his post. You know how when you meet people at these events and you try to remember their names, it's not going to happen until you see consistent photos of them at the event. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got that business card. But
you know what? If you're good at that, I'll give you all the credit in the world. Because I have like several IDs on Facebook, and I try to max them all out, and then people are something like, "Hey, it's me," and I'm like, I'm sorry, unless we've done something like really, like in person or together or worked on something.
Or save my life.
Look, all of you all, I've done something with. I've seen you all. We've done, like, you're embedded there. Can't shake it. But if we just like say hi to each other online on Facebook or something, and then I never met you personally, and
it's tough.
It's
tough like that.
I'm sorry, but hey, it's called being human and old, But hey,
yeah, that's true. That is true.
Not getting old, are we?
Hey, look, we settled this. I am older than you are. I am your senior. I
think Patrick's probably the youngest here.
You know how it is when you compare. You know how it is when you compare ages. When you're older, you get bragging rights.
Oh.
That is true.
You all want to know exactly how much older I am to Miss Ezell?
Okay, we'll play. How much older are you than
Don't
Rhonda?
go there. Don't go there, brother. Not with a lady. No,
I'm going to let Miss Ezell. If Miss Ezell want to tell it, she can tell it.
I'm not asking. No way. We're just
48 hours.
48 hours. So you're both Libras?
In other words, for Charlie, it's 2 days.
Oh, Jesus. I think I'm going to pull the trump card and say I think I'm older than Rick.
Oh, whoa.
Well, how old are you?
So. Me? You never ask a man his age.
I mean, you look older.
Now y'all have that.
You look older. How old are you?
I'm 53.
No, you're not. You're younger than her. You younger than her?
I'm not worried about Rhonda because she could kick my butt. I'm worried about you. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
We digress.
Matt, take over,
Okay.
Matt.
Yeah. I'm getting the popcorn. Where's my popcorn? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I will say this: in 2020, I went out to Illinois. I've got family that live in Illinois, and we went to I had to go do some family stuff, but I was going to go interview Argo J up in Milwaukee. So I texted Rhonda. I said, "Hey, do you want to come to Milwaukee and hang out with Argo and I?" And so of course she says yes. And we go up to Milwaukee. We do some shooting. We film the show. We go out to eat. And then on the way back, Rhonda's like, "Hey, you know what, Charlie? We're really good traveling partners. Why don't you drive from Boston to Chicago to pick me up to drive us to Detroit?"
Okay.
And I'm like, "Don't you have a map? It's not really a swing by."
I have riding shotgun with Charlie. That's all I need. Why make it complicated? You're on the road already.
That's enough for 6 episodes, man. How many episodes are you up to now on Riding Shotgun with Charlie?
Yes, today I put out 177.
Wow!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
177. Yeah.
Oh man, you've been like cranking them out. Are you week? You're weekly, right? You're weekly,
bi-weekly.
right?
Bi-weekly. I put out 2 shows a month.
Who's bi?
It's bi-weekly.
Yeah, Charlie. We know bi-weeks.
Bi-weekly. It takes a lot to besides edit the videos. It takes a lot of time to travel around the country.
Yeah.
And
more work.
It is more work, and it's work. It's work I love. Let's put it that way. The dividends are, how many
episodes? How many ride-alongs did you do during my? Oh, that's right. You weren't there. My bad.
Oh, that's low, Rick. That's low.
Last year, what did I do? Last year I did a show with Chris Chang. I did a show with Antonia Akafar, and then I took 3 of the ladies that before they went shooting, I interviewed them for 7 or 8 minutes or so, and then I interviewed them after they went shooting. And actually, one of the ladies wanted me to go onto the range with her to do her instructing, and she actually messaged me about a month before the event. She messaged me and said she bought her first gun.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's great.
So
nice.
you are changing lives.
So see, if you so you actually got some content for your website and for your YouTube channel, and it kept you going for at least a month and a half or 2, right?
I got 3 episodes out of it. Absolutely, nice. It was good stuff.
That's awesome.
See, I was telling another reason why you should come to Detroit, man.
Well, I had to go to. I've told you this 14 times now. I think I had to go to Virginia for a weekend, and then I had to go to Colorado, and this is all expensive, man. I filmed 7 shows.
Would you go to what's out in Colorado? What is in Colorado?
What is in Colorado? I was
other than beer and the Rockies, right? What else?
Fresh water.
What's in Colorado?
Fresh water. I was
Michael Bain.
Yeah, I went and so all joking aside, I went to Michael Bain's secret hidden bunker. I hung out with him and his sweetie. I got to shoot. He's got a, oh my gosh, I think it's in 1895 Winchester in 405. Legit, the cartridge is bigger than my pinky, and I got to shoot this on his property on the top of a mountain in Colorado. So that was really, really pretty cool.
That's awesome. I was telling my wife
so I know a question that's like on the back. Go ahead.
So after we left your event, Rick, we drove out to Washington State to see our 10th grandchild, and it was just he was just born, Theo. Taught a class on the way, and then on the way back we stopped in Montana, and I taught 2 classes. And I was telling my wife, I feel a lot like Charlie. I'm driving a lot.
I drive a lot.
36 hours nonstop. I slept. My wife drove. She drove. I slept. Wait,
Nice.
yeah, you know what I mean? We took turns.
Oh, see,
driving
that's
this week.
good. You guys work like a team, like tag team. Now, I know a
We
question that's on all of your minds as well. Rick, when is the next women's free shooting event, right? Glad you were thinking about it. You didn't ask, but you were thinking about it.
It's like you're psychic, Rick.
Get into it. Get into it.
To the fourth weekend, like this year and last year, the fourth weekend of July. So for 2028, it will be Saturday, July 27th, and Sunday, July 28th. Roughly almost the dates for this that we had this year.
So when's it going to be in 2024? Because you said when it's in 2028.
Yeah, you think like in 2028 it's going to be. Yeah.
It will be on Sunday 28th and Saturday the 27th.
All right.
Be there.
So here's a question for Rick. So you used to have your event on Mother's Day weekend. What happened? What made you change the weekend? It used to be a Mother's Day event.
Yeah, the weekend after.
Interesting question. So when I first came up with this idea for this event, I really wanted to focus on the value that I could provide to the hosting gun range, right? And so what my proposition was this. I said, give me your absolute slowest day of the when there's no one in the shop and you're just dying for the day to be over. Smart. Your employees are begging to go home early. Tell me what day that is, right? And so he said, oh, I can tell you with absolute certainty what day that is. So before I give you the day, can you all guess what day of the year is the slowest day for this range for?
No.
The last day in July, last weekend in July.
It had to be somewhere in May.
Not too far, not too good. Mother's Day, yes, someday in May, Mother's Day. And so I was like, okay, I seized an opportunity, right? I phrased it so that they could give me the answer that they wanted, right? They're going to tell me what would be the perfect day to do it. So Mother's Day on a Sunday, right? Slow. Give them a shot in the arm business-wise. And we were like very close to like shaking on it and everything. And then the office manager started groaning and having like a hissy fit, kind of like an unmanly thing to do, right? And so I was like, well, what's going on? He was like, I want to take my wife out to dinner for Mother's Day. She's going to be like really upset if I don't be there for her on Mother's Day and take her out for dinner. So I was like, oh, well, fine. Let's do it the week after Mother's Day. And so that was the day that it always was on until all the way up until 2020. We were going to do it in May, and then the governor shut us down. And then while we were shut down, we were waiting for her to bring the state back online. And then she brought it back online. And then I'm like pulling the team together and getting everybody fired up and engaged. And then I believe she shut it back down again. And I was like, no, I'm not shutting it down anymore. If she's going to
now, Rick, I have a question when you're finished. I have a question that I'm curious about.
Sounds good.
Ask now. He's not going to finish.
Right. Sounds good.
So, Rick, just out of curiosity.
Well, I was like, if she's going to bring the state troopers out and shut us down, then fine. That's what she's going to have to do because I'm not canceling any further. But
hey, Rick, question for you. Rick.
What's up?
How many instructors did we have?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Just total that volunteered. How many instructors did we have that volunteered? And then part B is from how many states? Because there were a lot of really great instructors that volunteered for the event.
You know what? I totaled that up last night. What I'm doing is I have asked all the instructors who participated in the event to actually tell me what state they were from, just in case I didn't forget, just because I might forget who came from what state. So this year there were 12 states represented, and I know that one state had quite a few because she brought, her husband and their 3 or 4 kids. Candy, what state is Candy from? Illinois?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Ohio. Candy's from Ohio, so Ohio's probably the largest populous state. But we had, of course, Michigan, Georgia, New York, Louisiana, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, South Dakota, New York, Pennsylvania, and Texas.
Nice. And how many instructors?
12 states made it.
12 states. And how many instructors more?
I got a hard count, man, but I'd have to count process of time after action. I'm giving myself imposed deadline to get that out tonight. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when I'm going to send it over to, and hopefully they'll bless it and publish it for me.
Yes.
Great.
Very cool.
So Candy introduced herself to me. She's hosting me to do some classes in Ohio in December. And she comes up, she goes, "I'm the only black Candy you'll ever know." I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, I can't think of one that I know. Yeah,
Right. We're gonna call her Licorice, right?
Absolutely not.
Well, I mean,
No, that's negative.
okay.
She has a sense of humor. She laugh at that. Candy would laugh at that.
Yeah.
So, so for you other instructors that were there, what are some highlights for you guys? Did you guys have any women that were nervous or scared or a little apprehensive, that were concerned about taking the shots and I don't know, freaked out and got nervous and scared?
What do you think, Patrick? What'd you have? Patrick was bouncing around a lot.
Yeah, so I was in the role of just making sure things flowed in the second half of the range, because once ladies shoot, they need a place to go, and they don't necessarily know where to go in that range. So yeah, I was helping to direct the traffic, which is very
important.
Yeah, as you guys probably saw if you were on my side of the lanes, it was busy. But yeah, it's great time. Got to engage with a lot of women. I saw a lot of smiles, a lot of folks leaving happy and changed and empowered. And that was the best thing about it for me.
Very cool.
I had I was on Patrick's side. Patrick commandeered me, lassoed me in, and I had the port right next to me. I think twice. Two people that were in that port with that instructor. I can't remember who the instructor was. He had said later that two of the women had been shot. And that's why they wanted to come and learn how to use guns and be able to defend themselves, because they had literally been shot by somebody else. That's pretty. Wow. That's pretty profound. That's pretty profound.
Oh, absolutely.
To have a story like that where people can overcome their fears and their apprehensions with something like a gun and turn it around to being a tool that they can use to maybe have that not happen to them again. Right.
What I saw.
Well, I think that's a significant. Go ahead, Rhonda.
No, I said what I saw, considering I was on the outside of the range, which I was communicating with the ladies as they were in line. They were motivated, they were ready, they were willing, they were all smiles, and they were ready to learn. I don't think I even noticed a nervous person in the line, because as we were, I was going around and I'm just checking and I'm trying to get a little bit of footage of these ladies. And I'm talking to them and I'm seeing how their body language is, how they're communicating with each other as they wait their turn to go inside the range. I saw nothing but motivation, pure empowerment. They were ready. And we know they were ready because they were there. And so I can clearly say that I think for each and every woman that showed up that weekend,
John,
they went home with much more than they came with, and they have something to take back and share with others. So next year, hopefully, they'll bring someone else with them when they come back.
For sure.
Yeah, Dr. John said he had a student that had been shot. He had just typed that in on his status. And also, John actually taught a VIP last year.
Can Dr. Adine verify that she wasn't shot at your event, Rick? Can we?
Right, because Rick has a clean slate of safety here for over 12 years, and we don't want it to be a miscommunication as if someone was shot
Right.
at Rick's
No, no,
event.
no, no,
Rick's
no,
event.
That
no,
did
no,
not
no,
happen.
no,
Absolutely.
no. No one has been ever shot at the event. No, and
Right.
I hope that never ever happens. But I tell you what, there has always been an abundance of precaution. You know, one of the things that I really built into the program is that I always wanted to keep one-on-one student to instructor ratio in the booth.
That's awesome.
The only way anything could possibly happen is if the instructor is not paying attention and the student does something really unexpected. But one-on-one in the booth, you know, I've had a really good track record of identifying and convincing good, experienced, credentialed firearms to work the event. So, you know,
Amen.
I haven't had any issues that way, and hope that we never do. You know,
Absolutely.
Jose, so what was your take out of the?
Lots of takes. I mean, we're still kind of bouncing off that last question. Any ladies that were anxious?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's fair game.
Yeah. Well, from my experience, a lot of the ladies play a good game, right? And everybody's motivated. But I found a lot of ladies were anxious coming to me, you know, and we're always worried about ladies or people who are not anxious. That's holding an explosive device. You know, it's anxiety provoking, right? But, you know, so sociopaths maybe. But, you know, we have such great RSOs at that range. Just to leapfrog on what you said, Rick, we have great instructors. We have great RSOs that everyone is absolutely safe. And I noticed that as soon as you just let the ladies know, listen, welcome, why are you here? You find out their backstory and say, listen, I'm guarantee you will be absolutely safe and you will have fun and you're going to learn. Once they hear that, their anxiety goes down and they're more receptive to what's happening and they have a good time, you know, in the 5 to 8 minutes that we have with them.
That was my big surprise. I didn't realize it was going to be such a short window with them. And I thought I would have thought there would be more coming through. But honestly, with how many women, I think I maybe trained 10 or 15 total for the day, maybe not even that many. And it was fast paced and it was exhausting. It was exhausting for sure.
Mentally and physically exhausting.
Yeah.
And it was a slow weekend. It wasn't as fast paced as it could have been a couple of years ago. It was just a lot more fast paced, but it is exhausting, you know, because you have to constantly be on the, you know, paying attention, aware and alert, and guiding them, teaching them. So it really is it's trying, but it's fun
for sure.
Absolutely. You know, and that's something I always really wanted to pay close attention to, like how much time, you know, was it going to really take out of the day for a participant to be involved with the program? You know, obviously we have to have the safety briefing, right? That's our opportunity to treat everyone the same, pretend that they've never been exposed with the firearm before, give them the basic fundamentals. We even had a guy who had a training gun out with the students in the line before they had the briefing to give them a primer on how to even hold the gun. And so they probably have had experience holding a training gun, and then they go in for a safety briefing. They're given everything that they absolutely positively must know about shooting a firearm safely. And then we issue them the training equipment. We pair them on one-on-one with a firearms trainer, somebody who's been vetted. They shoot, they take their social media pictures, and they have smiles, and they get to talk to the vendors who were there. And then we gently ease them out the door to make room for the next wave to come in roughly an hour later. So, I mean, it's like a well-oiled machine, man. So, you know, it was pretty cool to have two gun ranges operating simultaneously at the same time. So it definitely increased throughput, and it really made it a positive event. You know, you don't want to have somebody waiting an hour or 2 hours before they come in and sit down and then have to go through the safety briefing and then the shoot. You know, we don't rush them through, but we at least give them a very solid introduction to firearms and shooting, and they have a positive experience, and it's something to build upon. You know, I look at it as, well, what if it's a person who always was curious about shooting and they didn't know if they wanted to do it, if they could do it? You know, I wanted to create a most inviting atmosphere, you know, no pressure, have them come in, actually learn something, gain some confidence, get in a shooting session, shoot a number of rounds, get your target silhouette and feel like you accomplished something. And then you could have a debrief with all the other vendors that were there and figure out where they wanted to proceed further. Now, there may be some women that went through the event and they may have decided, and I imagine it's a minority, but a few said, okay, I tried it. This is no longer something I wish to pursue. And then, okay, fine. You've made a decision that was not based on ignorance. You actually took a brave step forward and actually tried it. Like green eggs and ham, we just want you to try it. But for the prevailing over vast majority of people, it's a positive experience and it sets ground zero for whatever aspirations they have with firearms training in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to leapfrog real quick on what you said, Rick. The cadre of instructors and the cadre of range safety officers, in my opinion, are some of the most consummate professionals I've ever worked with. You know, I enjoy the camaraderie and spending time with the instructors as much as I do with the ladies. And you really put together a great group of people who have their hearts in the right place, and they work really, really hard to train the ladies and make them comfortable and make their time with us, the little bit of time we have, as beneficial as possible. So, you know, hats off to you for putting together a great team.
Yeah, let me tell you, you do this thing long enough and you go to a lot of places, man, you'll meet a lot of people, man. And I've been fortunate, you know, I've been going to conferences and conventions pretty much steadily throughout my life as a firearms instructor. And for the vast majority of instructors that I know, that's really how I met them. Many instructors that you meet that are not local, I actually met them face to face out of town in some other state across the country somewhere. And, you know, people are talking about GRPC is coming up in September. It's going to be the day after my birthday, right? No, my birthday is the day after GRPC ends. It's on the 25th and the 24th. So I'm looking really hard at the calendar. I think I'm going to be there.
Nice. So we got a little dating game going on here. Patrick, Mary Louise wants to know if you're going to be in Orlando next week.
I actually might be. I'm gonna send her a message afterwards. We've been trying to link together. Another fabulous instructor, by the way. Rick, we need to bring her up so we can get her up there to Detroit. But
yeah, definitely.
I just want to know. She says here. She goes, few of my favorite people right there. Few. Which few?
Don't put her on the spot.
Right. My older sister Chris chimed in here, and she said that in South Carolina, where she used to live in Spartanburg, they have a ladies' night on Wednesdays, and so they don't have any range fees for the ladies. And this gentleman here asks a question: do you think that the women are more accepting to instructors compared to men?
Well, I'm not going to answer that. We've had some instructors that have worked the event. I want to see what other instructors have to say about that.
So
we had an event with all women. Do you think the women took well to instruction? Compare and contrast that to guys.
I think the women took instructions well from every instructor that they encountered. They weren't there to point out whether they wanted a female or a male instructor to instruct them in firearm safety. They were there to get the complimentary education that they could get that they did not have. And I don't think that they woke up that morning or the day that they signed up to say, I'm going to go to this free event, but I want a male, I want a woman, I want a female, I want a male trainer. They came with an open mind, an open mindset, and that's part of the game. If you come ready, you don't have to get ready. So I'm not going to say that they were picking and choosing. I think they were delighted that they were there at the event to be able to take part of this event and get some education that was very much needed.
I think that goes back to what, the kind of Jose's mentioning there as far as the cadre that you pulled together, Rick, because I know I made it, I went, I don't want to say above and beyond, but I went and made sure that I made them feel as comfortable as possible when they came into my port, because they didn't know me, right? They walked up and I'm a guy or a woman, I'm white, right? I mean, whatever. It definitely. I wanted to make sure that I was welcoming. Well, a little bit.
And that's the key. That really you hit the nail on the head, Matt. That's the key, because, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I tell my students, a woman generally going into a gun range or gun store, it's kind of like a woman going into a biker bar, especially if they're not gun people. They just don't know what to expect, But if you've been to a gun, if you've been to a biker
depending
bar,
on the woman.
I'm not saying generalities. I'm saying absolutely, because I've met some ladies that are awesome bikers, ride bikes better than me. But my point is that there is a stereotype to gun owners and a stereotype to people who hang out at ranges, and it really is not. We don't fit that mean. We don't fit that stereotype, and so it's wonderful to see the ladies come on in, and we be the face, and in the 5 to 7 minutes, we make them relaxed. We give them a great introduction, and they have a great positive experience. And whether they shoot one round, right? I have ladies that shot none, or all 20. They all have a great experience, and they come back next year. So, that's key. So
that's a great analogy. That's a great analogy, Jose. The biker bar thing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's what is it? Second is for everyone.
There you go.
Right. That's how.
Let's get some feedback from Patrick. Patrick, what's your take on the question?
Well, I mean, I think everybody who was there to learn. They were there with a purpose. All right. For all of us that are already involved in the industry, going to the range is just like another day. But for them, this was a special day, and we made sure that it was special for them. I honestly, just seeing the folks transition from I'm scared, I'm nervous, I don't know what's going to happen, to oh my goodness, I like this.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Wait,
I've been missing all my life.
Yeah, it's just amazing to just see them, and they're excited and genuinely want to continue for a lot of them. One of the things I did want to mention too is, Rick, you've been doing this for 12 years. And if you were to even average, let's just say 1,000 women a year, that's a good percentage of the population. When you think about it, the eligible population that you have educated there in Detroit, you have done a percentage.
It's probably a statistically measurable percentage, but not a significant percentage of the adult women population. I'm not there yet, man. Lifetime of this program, which is what this leads to. This is the 12th year. I started out with 50 in year one. With all the advances in attendance, I am at 8,900. I'm like shy of 9,000. So I'm just going to call it 9,000 in 12 years. So
not bad.
If something happens this year, which is possible, I'm not letting the cat out the bag. I'm still in talks with some people to make something happen.
I'm gonna call you after the show.
If nothing happens this year, I'll hit 10,000 for the life of the program next July.
Okay, sounds good.
Let me jump in here, because I actually did. I digressed and I didn't answer the question directly, and Mark was kind enough to bring it back again. In my experience, and I'm not talking about just the event in particular, but in my experience, I think women, generally speaking, are more receptive to instruction than men. I think, in my experience, and the few people I've trained over my lifetime, let me just listen. A lot of guys, they start with I've been shooting since, or I've been in the military, or I'm in law enforcement. We know the sentences that start, that precede them, telling us their experience, and that automatically, I think, tends to shut off listening for guys. So I think in general, in my experience, women are a lot more receptive to actually absorbing what I have to offer them in terms of teaching.
I think Dr. John hit the nail on the head and is basically saying exactly what you just said there, Jose. Too much testosterone clouding the brain there of the guy. That's for sure.
Right. So I think, Mark, I hope
I actually once had a Detroit police officer who attended a class with his wife, and she had never shot before. And man, he was a flincher. He was a cop, law enforcement, some years on the job, and he was a flincher. All of his shots were low in the lower extremities on the target. His woman, she shot all chest shots, and it's never shot before. And it just goes to show you, all the stereotypes don't necessarily apply. Proper instruction.
Just listen and listen and do. Just listen and do what we say. Yeah,
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. It's that easy.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie,
Christina
it is that
Cook.
time.
It
Just changed.
It is that time. So here's what we're going to do. We are, Matt is going to draw a name from the people that have emailed us. We are giving away 2 items tonight. We are giving away a CERT pistol with a green dot, and we are also going to be giving away a Mantis X. So if you have emailed, you shall be entered. And Matt's going to give us a number.
Actually, we're going to do it a tad bit different today.
I should have given you guys a drum roll, but my drumsticks are over there.
You know what? I think I have one.
Yeah,
hold on.
Go for it.
Whoops. Uno momento.
Rhonda, you play the drums?
No, she just had some drumsticks laying around.
I can do that.
There you go. You're playing it right now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Rhonda.
Rhonda is a woman of many
Didn't
talents.
you just do that drum roll?
I didn't know that she was a drummer. I mean, who would have figured that out?
Let me see. Let me see something here. Let me see.
Hey, Rhonda, run! Get your drums. Get your drums. She's gonna.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you got. Come on. Do it.
I don't do it.
Pretty awesome.
Right.
All right. So this is what we're going to do, Rick. Since the code was laid in honor of you and your event, I'm going to let you give us the number. And the number, you were going to pick a number between 2 and, let's see. And, oh, by the way, this is what we're doing. We're going to pick from all the people that have ever registered for an event or registered for a giveaway in the entire time Charlie and I have been doing our collaborative show here with Meet the Pressers and
Wow, so somebody who's not here.
So how many?
Yep.
So how many total people is that?
385.
Oh wow!
So pick a number between 2 and 385, and that is one winner. And then we'll have you pick another number, and we'll give the other item to that person. So go. And I've mixed them up
between 2 and 385.
385. Yep.
You said between 2 and 385.
Correct. Tell me the number.
384. 384.
Wow.
384 is going to be
someone who registered late.
It is Willie Buntley.
All right.
Right.
Way to go,
Right.
Willie. Sometimes being on time is not all that it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, and actually, fittingly enough, he actually is one of the ones that registered tonight. So he actually was one of the ones from the show. So it's pretty cool, right?
I would hate.
He's going to be a loyal subscriber and viewer of the program.
Well,
Watch.
and that's the
That's
that's
what we're
good.
looking
It's
for.
it's surprising because I put in the form, are you subscribed to the shows, both Charlie's show and my show, and like you would be surprised. People are like, no, they just choose no. I'm thinking like, I couldn't. I personally wouldn't be like no. I'd be like, well,
Absolutely.
yes, right. And it might give me a better chance of winning. Not that it does, but it does make me think. You know. Anyway.
You know what? I think it's a fair. I think it's a fair ask to have them be subscribed to the channel.
It's a nice. It's a nice.
If you're gonna win something that's $250, you ought to subscribe to the channels.
Or in this case, with the cert that Willie just won,
$439.
Yep. So Willie won the cert.
All right.
Is Willie a subscriber? Is he a subscriber?
He didn't answer the question, but yes, Charlie says yes.
I'm doing a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
Willie is
subscribing. Ooh.
This is the subscription you're looking for.
Subscribe
All
to
right.
win.
Rick, give me one more. We got 1 minute left. Give me another one, and this is going to be the winner of the Mantis.
76.
76. You're going to make me scroll. 76
it's only 76.
Yeah, but it's out of 300 something. Lorraine Crescimano.
What?
Crescimano.
Oh, after you butchered her name. Oh God.
Right. Just
you tore her name up.
She's in Texas. She's from Texas.
Nice.
All right. Well,
congratulations, Lorraine.
Congrats, Lorraine. This is going to be a nice surprise for her if she wasn't watching tonight. She'll get an
and
email
maybe she'll be watching next time.
Exactly.
Hopefully she's a subscriber.
She better be. All right. Well, listen,
you guys, I'm loath to tell you guys how to run your show, man, but you should make people be subscribers of both shows to win the contest.
Well, for this one, I did delete everybody that said no. If that's any consolation.
There we go. There we are. All right, listen. We need to cut it loose because it's 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna put plugs in for everybody. Rick Ector, legally armed in Detroit. The end of July, the 4th weekend of July next year is the next time he's doing his free ladies event. Which I think I was thinking about this. I think the ladies event. I think it should be. The ladies.
Give it a name.
Forget it. I forgot what it was. Never mind. I had something last week.
It's usually the second thing that goes, Charlie. Second thing that goes.
What's the first?
I don't. It's the first is the one you don't want to find out the second time.
First is.
The next person we have is Jose Morales from the Philly Firearms Academy in Philadelphia. We have Patrick from the Gun Food, which is a great place to buy ammo. Go to the Gun Food, use RSWC as the discount code, save 5.56%. And we have Rhonda Ezell from Black Guns Matter, from Rhonda Ezell versus Chicago 1 and 2. And Rhonda owes me a Chicago Guns Matter patch.
I want to correct you. I'm not from
See,
Black Guns Matter.
I bought
Chicago Guns Matter. Oh my God.
I've actually bought a patch from there at my shooting event. And guess what? You weren't there to buy
shout out
one.
to gunnuts.com. Go to gunnuts.com and get your 10% off the BLT using code RhondaGN2023.
Nice.
All right, there we go. For Rhonda from Chicago Guns Matter. I apologize. I wasn't looking at your name there, so I was just going by my poor memory.
See, if you had a patch, you'd know.
Fair enough.
Second thing to go, Charlie. Second thing to go.
It's always fun, Rick. It's always fun, Rick.
We thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
We might. Please stay tuned in. Check us out. Obviously, Meet the Pressers and Writing Shotgun with Charlie on Facebook and on YouTube and on all of our Instagrams and all of our socials. We do need to get back in the swing of doing shows on a regular basis, and we are working on kind of a big guest. So that might be coming up soon. We're not 100% sure, so I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. We thank you guys so much for putting in the time and giving us your evening to spend an hour with us and with all of our friends online. You guys are all awesome. We appreciate everything that you guys do, and we will see you guys all again. Thank you very much.
Keep up a good fight.
Thanks, man. Good seeing everybody.
Bye-bye.